shoebox method it's not good. All right, just to give you a real preliminary status of where we are in terms of revenues, dues are really the lifeblood of MDI's revenue stream. The convention, many men who pay money to go to the convention, we pay for LDs. LDs bring in some money. LDs and the events are a big part of how regions need to bring in money. There's transfers of some of the international dues, about 30% back to the regions. But of about $135,000 that MDI has brought in this first 3 quarters, maybe over 100,000 is from dues. So dues are really important, and yet we have a dues program that's a little confusing to some people, and we sort of went away from some automated online system because it was breaking down, and I'd love to get to a better place where some regions can go to a regional meeting and some man knows exactly which men there are actual members of MDI. But I know we had a recent regional meeting where people were actually electing a regional coordinator. I don't think any man there knew who was actually supposed to vote. And that's a breakdown when we consider that membership and dues are so important to our organization. Our expenses are pretty diverse. $62,000, various international and regional meetings, $26,000, trainings, mostly LDs, but also other leadership trainings, $34,000. International programs, that's like the core team people, most of their travel, a lot of their convention travel is covered in international programs. That's $21,000 so far. Professional fees, that's mostly me, but also outside counsel, and there are other, one region pays for a bookkeeper as well, that's $13,000. Operations, mostly insurance, but also back office operations, shipping, as well as presidential and CFO travel, that's $16,000. I've mentioned the easier dues collection method. Really, some of the regions and S1s are on top of this. It's a big manual effort. David Linzer has a plan, has a way of doing it, and he's going to mentor some of the other regions. We have enough money to pay all our bills, and as long as we don't have deficits 3 years in a row, we'll be fine. And so we're in good shape as an organization. It's all about membership and serving men and serving mankind, and hopefully teaching men a little bit about money and accountability around that. That's what our team tries to do as well. That's it.
Okay, thanks.
The events are the responsibility and at the discretion of the regions. So when it comes to a legacy discovery in your region sets the price. Your region sets how registration happens. Your region does the disciplines and practices, and the international men are there to support the regions being successful. The profits from the event go to your region. What it costs for the sites in Toronto for a legacy discovery is vastly different than what it costs in Southern California. I think, to be fair about it, some of the training teams that we've had been responsible for trainings have been wanting to teach the regions a lesson about what they can do with money, and that doesn't work.
I just wanted to mention that the localized trainings have been cash cows for the Southwest region. I've made at least double, probably 3 times more in my local trainings than I have in my LDEs.
One of the huge disparities or distinctions and differences from one region to the next and from one phase of leadership within a region to another is the way we treat money. We come at it from this austerity place where we definitely don't have anything, the price is as low as possible to make sure that every man possible can get there, to another one where we want to have some revenue excesses. The reality is there are trainings, I don't care where they are worth more than what we're charging for them. And I think there's a financial responsibility for the regions to produce enough money to take care of the funding, to bring men to Las Vegas, to do the things that we do that make this organization successful. And one of the places we have revenue is from these trainings. The men that put them on are getting paid, they put their heart and soul into it, it's a tremendous amount of work, and they create a tremendous value. For us to charge for that is something that we should be doing.
What we're doing, Charles, is we're living on our own money.
And it's time to grow up. And the only way that we can survive financially, but well beyond that, really tell the community who we are, is by throwing our trainings to the community. Let them pay for it. Let them support us. You know, it's time for us to stop supporting ourselves that way.
There's a lot in that, and I would say have a BLT and have it at your company.
It also brings up sort of fundamentally, what are we about? And are we about men getting what they need on men's teams, or are we a training organization looking to bring trainings out into the community and bring in money that way?
Why don't we do both? Yes.
Maybe we will, and in some ways that's what we've been doing. And we have been we've been very successful in some areas, and we have not been successful in terms of growth. If you were to measure our success doing both over the last so many years, we're still running around that 800, 850 member range. So we have not been successful in that sense.
Use that funding, or use that training in the community to actually move our brand forward in the community, become known as the organization that trains men to be better, one man at a time. And that's sort of the vision that I have for our area. And to do both, take care of the men by having our membership learn from these trainings, but also spread the word so that we're not a secret.
Everybody in this room probably made the jump from a man who was receiving to a man who found benefit from giving. Most of us who stay really get juiced from giving. To really grow, we got to get over that barrier. We got to be able to be better teachers at making men givers. If we can make men givers, they'll stay forever. If we can't, well, you get what you need and you go.
Part of what we've done historically has been this volunteer organization that thinks we can do a great job with men's leftover time. And as a result of that, we haven't paid attention to the things that are significantly important to us. I believe in my heart of hearts that the cause that we're taking on, the potential growth in membership, the fact that MDI is up to something much bigger than what we are right now, is going to necessitate a lot of core change. And I believe that the men that are going to be responsible for that change are not yet members of MDI. I don't think they're here yet. I don't believe that we have the talent in-house to become a million-man organization, not even close. And when we put that structure in place, it probably isn't going to be free. The idea is that we can do this, and if the reason we're doing it and the why we're doing it is significantly large enough, we'll find a way to be successful at it. But for us to be successful, we have to pay for the services we're getting. And the idea of what we're doing around our websites, the way we're handling a lot of other things, with men's leftover time and the changing of guard and the relearning curve we go through time after time after time, isn't functional. That core change has to be made.
To me, one of the breakdowns has been the relationships between the men and their representatives. And if the men had more communication with their representatives, and the representatives had more communication with the men would feel more heard, and the board would know more that when we asked are the men behind this, because I can tell you this, there have been instances where we've said, are the men behind this? And the answer was yes, and they weren't.
Well, we vote for board members. I'll just give you that. We vote for board members.
That's right.
Vote for board members and never talk to them again. And then the perception is the board is doing this. If you're not talking to us, we don't know where you're at.
The board decides that they're going to promote a cause, or they're going to make this a cause for our organization, and it doesn't get communicated to the membership effectively.
Member of Mid-Atlantic, we have a cause. It's YCS. We just did a walkathon. YCS is basically an orphanage. It's a place to put kids from foster homes. So I don't know where the disconnect was there, and maybe we'll do this also, which is fine. But it's just weird because we have a regional cause.
And I would submit that under our cause, foster kids, it's front and center.
I think for issues of this magnitude of taking on a cause that we're taking, it should facilitate a voting like we do with the board members. The board should say, okay, we got this cause, let's issue a vote throughout the organization and have the members vote on this issue.
I'm not sure how to articulate this. I'm having a fundamental problem with the cause. I appreciate we have a cause, any cause. What we're bringing is not, we're not for, we are for something. We're for kindness, respect, relationship, but the way we're looking at it is to fight abuse. And fundamentally, vibrationally, that's off course.
We are spending some time about looking for the right thing to name it, so it doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation to it. Not about ending, but about doing something. That conversation is going. I know for a fact there's always going to be a better way to do something. That Henry Ford didn't invent the Ferrari as a 200-mile-an-hour car. It started out as something a bit more simple. And our experience in MDI around communication, the way we do things, has been challenging to say the best. I think Matt Lyons once said, changing something in MDI is like turning a supertanker. I heard it stated a little bit better is we've given up turning it, we simply junk the boat and build a new one. So one of the things that the history around this cause is, just so everybody's aware of it, is that we started looking for the right cause and the right thing about a year ago. And there was a lot of communications with the regional coordinators, the divisional coordinators. Some of the membership knew about it. There were suggestions made. It was a subject of conversation at our May leadership meeting. I walked away from that leadership meeting with the instructions, go find it, Gears, and make it happen. The thing that's different, and it's a lot different this time than anything else we've rolled out, is that we've done it in a manner that wasn't just dumped on you, here it is. It might have seemed a little bit like that, but before this came about, we went through the trouble of making a marketing video for our membership, something that would be enrolling and inspiring. This cause has the support of the regional coordinators, it has the support of the board of directors, and it has the support of all the vice presidents and the international core team. So it wasn't just casually put out as a whim. It was well thought out. The thing that this will do for our organization is expand the base of men that we talk to. I don't mean this to be something that's always true, but for a large part, a large number of us, our enrollment model has been something like, look at my life, check me out. If you want what I got, and there's something about that you respect, come and join my men's team, take a look at us, and you can have this life. The result of that is that I will always be talking to men that are looking at me like I've got something better than they do, or looking at you like you have something better. I'm not saying that every enrollment conversation is like that, but many, many are. The thing we have with the cause, the thing we have with end abuse, is that we're up to something that won't stop you from talking to anybody about being a member of MDI, because we're about something bigger than what we are.
I really like what's going on here. I think this meeting was a tremendous success. And I think this is great, and to be able to have men from all over the country, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot of what men think, and believe me, I've heard things I did not expect to hear. And I just want to put it out to the current president and the next chairman of the board that I think the importance of this meeting being more prominent and earlier, and I know how hard it is, but I think it's a shame we don't have more men to participate in this and learn more from this. And so I want to do what we can to have this more prominently featured next year.